Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers complete surveys and assist projects for 3 menus at the Chilean congressman's request. Batam volunteers celebrate their 13th anniversary at the new Jing Si Hall opening ceremony. Doctors offer advices on heat stroke preventions and treatments as temperature is rising high. A Chilean congressman asked Tzu Chi for 3 assistance requests this year, including building a roof for a hallway at Colegio Alerce, setting up a surveillance camera at a nursing home, and conducting and distributing at paramedic community. After surveying these 3 places, Tzu Chi volunteers decide to carry out the plans, and 1 month later they completed all the work. Wing Yaozhen, the new representative of Taipei Economic and Culture Office in Chile, also joined the volunteers.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Chile are taking a night bus to Concepcion, one of the designated places for assistance. And Wen Yaozhen, the new representative of Taipei office in Chile, also goes with them.
I'm very moved by their passion. Although the trip was close to 7 hours long, I'm not tired at all.
It was 1 month ago that Tzu Chi volunteers responded to a request from a congressman to build roofs for hallways at the school. Local volunteers took up the work to make sure the quality was excellent, and it took them 10 days to complete it.
Volunteers made them, so their value cannot be measured.
Tzu Chi volunteers also set up close surveillance camera systems at the nursing home, so this filial son is able to talk to his 90-plus mother every day.
I work in a mine in Calama, and I must work at night too. Because my mom lives far away from me, I'm very worried, but this equipment can ease my mind.
Tzu Chi volunteers also go to buy goods for pyramid community immediately. The congressman is awed by the volunteers' efficiency.
I want to thank Taiwan for such a wonderful team, Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi volunteers take this donation ceremony as a chance for a simple and dignified blessing ceremony, and they share the joy of blessing together.
The Tzu Chi Brazil Liaison Office held a free clinic to celebrate the 26th anniversary of its establishment. They provided a variety of free medical services and free prescription classes for many impoverished residents. In total, 936 people have received help from the event.
Most of the people who are waiting in line are impoverished residents who came from afar to seek medical attention. The volunteers have turned the Tzu Chi Brazil Liaison Office into a makeshift hospital, celebrating its 26th anniversary. Just like a private clinic, the dental equipment has been set up to treat the patient's toothaches.
I came to talk about the importance of oral hygiene. It helps to prevent many diseases from happening.
The Department of Traditional Chinese Medicine is quite popular among the residents. The pharmacy also provides an array of medications. In the eye clinic, services of optical exams and prescription glasses are also provided.
I came from afar, and I have no money to purchase glasses. Thankfully, a volunteer told me that there would be a free clinic here. I've been waiting for an entire year, and now I finally have new glasses. I feel very happy. I adopted a bamboo coin bank because I want to help others who are less fortunate.
From the beginning till now, our doctors have been serving for more than 20 years already. This is an incredible journey, which is not easy to achieve.
To ensure that the residents and staff do not go hungry, the volunteers have prepared a vegetarian buffet for all to enjoy. With the dedication of the 18 doctors and 136 volunteers, the more than 900 patients have all turned their frowns upside down.
Tzu Chi volunteers started to surf on Batam Island in Indonesia in the beginning of the year 2000. 3 years ago, local volunteers found a land to construct the new Jing Si Hall, and now it's finally done. Tzu Chi volunteers from overseas gathered to celebrate the opening ceremony. 4 Dharma masters from Jing Si abode lead Indonesia's Tzu Chi volunteers to walk into the Batam Jing Si Hall. It is the 13th anniversary of Tzu Chi Batam Liaison Office, as well as the opening ceremony of a new spiritual home.
All of Batam volunteers feel honored to celebrate the 13th anniversary in our own Jing Si Hall, which is the result of everyone's teamwork. We expect to motivate more people to join us as volunteers after the Jing Si Hall officially opens.
Kita mengharapkan makin lama makin besar, relawan makin banyak.
In June 2015, Batam Jing Si Hall began its construction. 3 years later, it's finally completed. On the day of the opening, volunteers from Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia joined their Dharma families in Indonesia to celebrate together.
There were only 2 or 3 volunteers at the Batam Liaison Office in the beginning, but today they have reached a landmark of having a Jing Si Hall in Batam. We have all witnessed the efforts of brothers and sisters here.
We don't have such a grand and beautiful Jing Si Hall in Johor State like this one in Batam. We hope that one day Johor Tzu Chi volunteers can also build a lovely venue like this to cultivate more blessings.
With everyone's blessing, Batam Jing Si Hall is expected to bring in more people to join Big Tzu Chi family. The Thabawa Center of Dani Town, Myanmar, accommodates many people who are the elderly living alone or with chronic diseases. Some buildings in this center are damaged due to years of disrepair. Tzu Chi volunteers took the initiative to build 2 semi-permanent homes for 12 residents to relocate to. In mid-August, the structures were completed. Volunteers not only brought new beds and other daily necessities, but also helped them to move.
The volunteers are hard at work in wiping down the window panes of the semi-permanent homes, both on the inside and outside. The Thabawa Center residents in Myanmar is finally going to relocate to their new home that Tzu Chi volunteers have prepared for them. It was like helping family members move, full of excitement.
Before, the residents were really sad and felt hopeless heading into the center. That was why we used love and care to help them with their daily necessities. I hope that they will be able to move here and be in a decent environment.
The new home has been decorated. Tzu Chi volunteers return back to the center and start to assist the residents in packing up their personal belongings. Compared with the old residents, each individual has a bed, their own cabinets, and brand new daily necessities that are personal. Several of the residents were crying tears of joy when they stepped into the new home.
I never thought that I would live so well in my life. The kindness of Tzu Chi volunteers will never be forgotten.
The new clothes and towels all have my name embroidered on it. This touch of love and care will always stay in my heart. I will never forget.
When everything was all moved into the new home, the volunteers specially prepared a welcoming meal. Everyone ate with smiles on their faces. Some people even made some promises to the volunteers.
I promise everyone, from now on, I will no longer smoke nor chew betel nuts.
In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, there is a solitary senior who lives in a cluttered house with broken ceiling. One day, more than 30 Tzu Chi volunteers worked as a team to clean up the elderly man's house, providing him with a more comfortable living environment.
Working as a team to remove the miscellaneous items, more than 30 Tzu Chi volunteers have come to help a solitary senior, Mr. Xu, clean up his living environment. Mr. Xu's house is cluttered with miscellaneous items. In addition, there's a hole in the ceiling. Therefore, whenever it rains, the volunteers worry for him.
Worried about his safety, I called him whenever it rains heavily. Then gradually we built up trust and loving relationship.
Mr. Xu is a solitary senior. Since he lost contact with his family, I do not know how to contact his son or daughter. The furniture inside the house are broken and dirty. Therefore, I've asked Tzu Chi volunteers to help him clean up the place.
Besides scrubbing the floor and walls inside the house, the volunteers also clean up the courtyard. Besides weeding in the courtyard, the volunteers even remove the sticky mud from the gutters with their hands. The volunteers climb up the tree to trim the branches. During the process, the volunteer was stung by the bee. Despite that, everyone still dedicate themselves to clean up the place.
The man has given us the opportunity to cultivate our blessings. This is our biggest reward.
He has minor mobility issues, so we come here to help him. Dharma Master Zhen Yan has said that when people cannot seek help, we should reach them and care for them.
Thank you, Tzu Chi sisters, for helping out. I am old and feeble. Therefore, I really appreciate your help.
Mr. Shi has felt the love and care of the volunteers. The volunteers also give him a haircut so he can also feel clean and comfortable.
The summer is ending soon, but the temperature is still high, and the risk of getting heat strokes is still at an all-time high. Some of the common methods of heat stroke treatments, such as drinking a lot of water and staying in an air-conditioned room, aren't always right or ideal. Doctors give advices on remedies that can both prevent and treat heat strokes effectively.
The high summer temperature drives many people to enter into air-conditioned rooms. However, the human body cannot withstand a quick temperature difference of more than 5 degrees Celsius. So when it cannot adjust properly, heat stroke symptoms will appear, such as dizziness and nausea.
Before, I never knew that I was actually suffering from heat strokes. I would always try to just head on home to sleep it off and drink lots of water, but it never worked. My whole body would be super weak. I would just feel not well and I would get a headache. And then my eyesight would get foggy and my stomach would bother me, making it impossible to want to eat anything at all.
The temperature is high, and the 72-year-old farmer, Zhou Xingui, is working under the scorching sun as usual.
It was impossible to quench my thirst. No matter how much water I drank, I just kept on drinking until my stomach was completely full.
Downing water wasn't quenching his thirst. Zhou Xingui's body temperature was rising. His heartbeat sped up, and he was short of breath.
A lot of people would just drink water and then drink way too much. When you drink in big quantities, it actually causes an overload of water in the stomach. This will cause bloating and fatigue. Many people would actually have fainting spells. So at this time, yes, you must drink water, but it needs to be a slow intake. Do not chug the water.
According to the statistics from the Department of Health and Welfare, the heat stroke peak season occurs from July to August each year. The number of people who are urgently sent to the hospital has increased year by year, and the death rate is as high as 50%.
Usually when someone has heat exhaustion, their body temperature would be extremely high. They will slowly start to lose consciousness, so it's crucial to get to the nearest emergency room as soon as possible. In these cases, the mortality rate is relatively high.
When people are in a high-temperature environment, dehydration caused by excessive sweating can easily occur. This may lead to a loss of salt in the body, thirst, fatigue, weakness, nausea, and dizziness. When the body temperature continues to rise past 40 degrees Celsius, a loss of consciousness and/or convulsions, all these are signs that call for immediate medical intervention. Traditional Chinese medicine doctors note that because heat stroke symptoms are not obvious, people often ignore or confuse them with the common cold. The best way to prevent heat stroke is to maintain good digestive system health.
If you are someone that gets fatigued easily, then the energy-boosting root drink would be best. If your body is often in a state of qi blockage, then the cooling root drink is your best option. Of course, if you are overheating, the special heat-clearing treatments is the optimal way to go. But during a heat stroke episode, the most important part is your digestive system. So in these types of hot summer weather, one must pay close attention to your digestive health.
Do not overeat, stay hungry for too long, and avoid cold beverages. This is the best way to keep your digestive system healthy, which will help prevent heat stroke from happening to you.
The summer weather is hot, so one must pay attention to sun protection and water intake when participating in outdoor activities. This is the best way to prevent heat stroke from happening to you.
The 7th lunar month is the month of auspiciousness. Tzu Chi volunteers in Sichuan, China promoted the concept of no killing in Mianyang. Also, volunteers in Zhangzhou, Fujian province visited some companies to prepare vegetarian lunches for employees. Many of them fell in love with the taste of vegetarian meals instantly.
Tzu Chi volunteers are slicing cucumbers and carrots and rub them together with other ingredients in this traditional Chinese dish, runbin, because they are promoting the concept of non-killing. Volunteers in Zhangzhou, Fujian are promoting vegetarianism amongst companies.
Tzu Chi volunteers promote vegetarianism by making it so delicious and pretty. Our staff knows that vegetarian meals can come in many varieties and can also be full of nutrients, and they can know vegetarianism is better.
In addition to these colorful spring rolls, other dishes are also mindfully made by Tzu Chi volunteers.
We used to think vegetarian dishes only included vegetables and not any meat, and they didn't have any oil. But after eating them a few times, we realized vegetarianism is very rich in variety, so vegetarian dishes are more popular than those meals with meat.
Vegetarianism is good for our bodies and also good for reducing carbon footprints. However, there is more. The general public can do recycling in daily life to reduce more carbon footprints.
Burning garbage will pollute our air, and burying it will harm our land. So we must cleanse our minds in daily life that there's hope for Earth.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Chengdu, Sichuan province are promoting recycling in Mianyang, Sichuan. One volunteers in Mianyang also support them by leading her restaurant staff to do it.
The staff in my restaurant will bring me the recyclables from their homes. After they bring them to me, and I'll carry their love forwards. So when I do recycling every time, I'm also very happy.
There are many ways to love our earth, whether it is being vegetarian or doing recycling. As long as you are willing to take the first step, the future of our planet will become better.
The Thai government has held the first Thailand Social Expo, inviting government agencies and NGOs to share their social innovations. Tzu Chi Thailand chapter has also been invited. Volunteers seized the occasion to introduce Jing Si products, Tzu Chi missions, and the environmental protection concepts to the public.
The volunteers introduce eco-friendly products and showcase handicrafts made from recyclables. It's an honor that Tzu Chi Thailand chapter has been invited to promote environmental protection at the Thailand Social Expo 2018.
We hope everyone can understand the importance of environmental protection. It is beneficial to carry out the 6 R's. We should reduce, rethink, refuse, recycle, reuse, and repair of resources.
At the Tzu Chi stall, the volunteers have set up the technology area, environmental protection DIY area, and an area for tea ceremony and flower arrangements. They seized the opportunity to introduce Tzu Chi's 4 missions and 8 footprints.
The volunteer has said that environmental protection is not just about recycling, but also reducing the use of resources. For instance, although we can recycle PET bottles, it is best not to use them at all.
Our community also sorts garbage from recyclables, but we're not that dedicated. We seem to have thrown away many reusable resources. After listening to the volunteers today, I will go back and share with the community about ways to cherish resources.
Through participating in Thailand Social Expo, Tzu Chi is gaining more exposure in Thailand. The Thai government agencies also hope to work with Tzu Chi in the future to care for more underprivileged people.
In Penang, Malaysia, a 53-year-old man injured his brain in a car accident and had a stroke later on, causing him to have mobility issues. This led his wife and children to leave him. Thankfully, his younger brother is still willing to care for him. After hearing of their situation, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a medical home visit and provided them financial aid.
Helping his older brother walk, who was injured in a car accident, is the daily life of these Paul brothers. Last year, Paul Yonghua had a stroke due to high blood pressure, causing him to be unable to care for himself. Thankfully, his younger brother takes of him without complaint.
If I didn't take care of my brother, no one would. If no one cares for him, his condition will be even worse. He is my brother, one of my family members. This is something that I should do.
Upon learning that Paul Yonghua had rashes on his arms and hips, TIMA members immediately arranged a medical home care visit.
His brother really took very good care of him, but then over time, sometimes because certain infected areas whereby, sometimes his brother might have, overlooked. So on and off, he developed his skin irritant.
I took my brother to a clinic for medical treatments, but I didn't see any improvement. Then I asked a Tzu Chi sister for help. She told me that a Tzu Chi medical team would come to check my brother's health. After having a checkup, the doctor gave me ointment and medicine for my brother. Later, his rashes disappeared.
Tzu Chi volunteers have developed a good friendship with the two brothers. Besides providing them with the needed assistance, volunteers also share with them the true meaning behind Tzu Chi's coin banks. Paul Yong Lai has now begun to turn from a receiver to a giver.
Since I have received help from others, now I want to help other people.
His younger brother has an open heart and a pure mind. He said that he can save some change whenever he goes out to buy coffee. He will put the coins into the coin bank to help more people who are in need.
The close bond between the two brothers has deeply moved Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members. Paul Yong Lai hopes that this power of love will continue to spread.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi Malacca chapter has provided scholarships for the Indian siblings for the past 5 years. Their father has mental illness and mother shouldered all the financial burdens in the family. Tzu Chi volunteers distribute fruit treats and taught them how to grow it so the family can rely on themselves in the future.
The scores on the wall makes Maha very proud, inspires him to be better in school.
Markah yang baik. Cikgu cakap bolehlah dia ada peningkatan daripada dulu sekarang ada peningkatan sikit.
Maha's father suffers from mental illness, so the family economy depends solely on his mother. Fortunately, Maha and his sister had been supported by Tzu Chi's scholarship program for the past 5 years.
My husband suffers from mental illness, so he can't work. I need to take care of him, so I am not able to find a steady job. As both of us don't have a stable income, our life is quite difficult. Fortunately, Tzu Chi has given us financial assistance, which has made our life much better. We have been receiving Tzu Chi scholarship for the past 5 years. If we didn't have the help from Tzu Chi, our life would be really difficult.
In addition to providing the children's scholarships, Tzu Chi volunteers also taught the family how to plant fruit trees. Therefore, they can be self-sustainable by selling fruits in the future.
We are trying to make a living by selling fruits. Tzu Chi has supported us a lot, but it's time we need to depend on our own efforts.
The siblings are changing their destinies and creating a better future for themselves.
Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital collaborates with many companies to host blood donation drives every year before Mid-Autumn Festival. And this year, they've received 1,600 bags of blood in one day. We will leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.